Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look here at ZCASH, see what's going on again, and help understand, big picture, best practice, and all that wonderful stuff that comes along with being a good trader, right? I've been trading for over 15 years, and this is my full-time job. I can tell you it's very attainable and realistic. You just kind of got to be patient and not try to buy into all the hype that's out there. So again, there's a lot of different schools of thought. There's nothing wrong with the hype, but generally speaking, yes, ZCASH is doing well, but you're never going to hear me, with techno music and flashing lights. It's all well and good either way. Nonetheless, not a financial advisor. Love teaching people how to trade. Hope you can learn something here today. And what we're going to do is look at some best practice, big picture stuff. And if you want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech, I have a trading community, academy, teaches you how to become a better trader, and a signal group that I share every single trade that I take with you. So you learn how to structure your trades more effectively and survive this market. All right. Now, looking at the ZCASH here, here's kind of big picture. First of all, we got the simple moving averages kind of working their way back up. We've been above them for some time now, of course. In fact, when we took a position as a community, we actually took a position after the price bounced off of that key level support on the 200 right around 145. Now, it's been moving up ever since then, and unfortunately played a little too tight, and we got stopped out a little early. We took some profits nonetheless, but we didn't quite hit our ultimate profit target, which is closer to the 200 mark. So bottom line, in this kind of market right now, when we have a bullish, momentous type of trend essentially happening, even though we don't have full-on confirmation that we've broke 46,000 from Bitcoin yet, the likelihood of seeing continuations like this is greater. And you probably want to have maybe a trailing stop with a moving target 2 instead of 1. Again, just little things to note. But generally speaking here, looking at the big picture though, moving averages are looking great. We've got basically a potential for a golden cross here. We've got a break above 70 on the RSI, which could very well imply that 70 will be the new support level for the actual price action moving forward. So that's a very, very good sign. We do see somewhat of a resistance at 210. Obviously, that's a key level Fibonacci retracement at 1.272, and that does have a tendency of holding the price action in place. But once again, that's usually the first milestone as soon as you break a key level resistance, because we can see this type of flag pattern, essentially, or pendant pattern that occurred where the price action shot up from there. Okay? It's a very common characteristic in cryptocurrency more specifically. And when you see that start to form, you would want to probably consider taking entry. Again, easier said than done, of course, I recognize that now, but generally speaking, ZCASH is showing great strength, and it comes with a lot more volume than we used to see. We have a very strong push in volume here. There's really no selling pressure at all at this point. But just keep in mind, there will be here soon, potentially, once we hit some of those other key level Fibonacci retracement lines. And just know also, big picture as well, it is getting a bit on the overextended side, so let's go ahead and touch on that. I mean, TD sequential is going to be a little off, most likely, based on the simple fact that we have this consolidation period here. But generally speaking, we're at a 9 right now, which implies we should experience some kind of pullback or retracement. So the likely candidate for the next retracement, which is quite common, is for the most previous resistance level to come back, the price to come back to that ground level, so to speak, the 183 mark, and to effectively bounce off that and or lose it. I say and or because obviously if we lose this trend line here, which actually I haven't drawn out yet, give me 1 second, you'll see that this is obviously maintaining a pretty decent continuation. Okay, so we'll just kind of go right around there, and you can see this holding within that increasing pattern. And as it continues to hold, if it were to come down and essentially bounce, that would be more likely candidate. Again, if it comes down that low, it may not necessarily do that. It is overextended, the likelihood of it pulling back is higher, but it may not pull back that strong. But if it does, that'd be a great place to either add to your position or just note that, at that point, it could effectively continue lower, break this trend line, and essentially start making lower lows, and that would be disadvantageous. So just know that ZCASH is kind of coming up to that point where we shouldn't expect it to go much higher at this immediate time frame. We need more consolidation. We need another period like this before we see the next leg up. So we could see another pendant pattern forming soon, so pay attention to that. So that's just generally something to look for, okay? Let's look at the other stuff as well, see if there's anything else we can extract. As we can see here, of course, this trend line, you see how synonymous that is with the 50-day SMA? Very, very common characteristic for the 50 to adopt itself as a support line concurrent with the trend line, essentially, that you would draw on the 4-hour time frame. Doesn't work. It's different on the 1 day, of course, but the 4 hour, you'll see that very, very synonymous behavior. It's just really good. That just kind of reiterates the fact that we have a nice support level there for now. Pay attention to when the price breaks below, which once again will likely be breaking this trend line. RSI is up over 70 again. Another reason why we could experience pullback. Most of the time you see 70 on the RSI or higher on the 4 hour time frame, you'll see a turnaround. It's a very, very common characteristic as well. So generally speaking, this has the makings of a potential turnaround, but keep in mind this is still a very healthy continuation pattern. So I wouldn't try to consider shorting this at this point. Okay, the likelihood of it coming down hard is lower based on the amount of volume we're seeing, but this continuation until that trend line is broken, we really shouldn't bother to try to bet against it, if that makes sense. All right, so that's kind of where we're at there. Ichimoku Cloud, all green lights there as well. Are we overextended on the 1 hour? We are not. We keep getting resets up to 7s, 8s, and 9s. So this does have a tendency of hitting its target and retracing back down and hitting these 9s, 7s, and 8s pretty consistently. So you can just kind of see consistent behavior here from ZCASH. These continuation patterns are working because of the fact that it's not overextending itself too much. While you could argue the fact that, hey, we've got, on the 4 hour time frame, we've got a 9 on TD sequential. That doesn't necessarily mean we have to experience pullback either, because generally speaking, a lot of times in crypto, when you have these strong momentous trends, just say we were to get a pump from Bitcoin on Monday or Tuesday, which I think is possible, then we could very well see ZCASH increase. But between now and then, as volume starts to dissipate throughout the weekend, we could effectively see the price trickle down until Monday. Okay. So I would say, just generally speaking, we could literally see one of two things. We could see the price retrace back down to 184, or we could see the price kind of stay where it's at and go sideways. Both are very likely, but just keep in mind that the probability of the price going much higher from here in the immediate future is lower, just based on the fact that it's overextended on the 1 day. We've had 9 consistent days of continuation. And one last thing to look at on the 4 hour, we've only got probably one more 4 hour candlestick to go in order for it to continue either higher or lower. So once again, I would say more likely than not, we have about a 60% probability based on everything we've seen so far that the price will either consolidate or retrace. I think an increase from here would be, it's potential, but it's less likely, if that makes sense. All right, so we'll keep a close eye on this, of course, keep moving forward and help understand big picture and everything here, of course, with ZCASH. We'll keep a close eye on it, but generally speaking, I would say proceed with caution at this point. Don't short, don't long. Wait for it to figure itself out, because it's honoring this ascending pattern, but it also is giving us signals that it wants to slow down a little bit. And that to me is just kind of a wait on the sidelines and take a better look at it perhaps later when it might have decreased in price. All right. And if you haven't taken profits already, wouldn't be a terrible place to consider taking some. You don't have to close your full position, just take a little bit here and there, because you should have a profit target, at least multiple profit targets if you're doing it correctly. And this should have been a target right around 210. And we're right there. All right. Well, hopefully you found benefit here, of course. If you do, comment below, like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. I look forward to getting to know you better, CryptoCache.tech. Check out the website, of course, and consider becoming a community member so we can all learn and grow together. Amazing experience. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.